so that we could save time. Someone else, is it Miru? Your video, if you can hear me, please confirm that you can hear me. Yes, so minute please.
I'm sorry, Sophia. I'm not sure if I'm the only one, but I don't see any other screen other than your name on the main screen and the participant on the right side.
Yes, that's because I'm not sharing yet. Well, I'll soon
Oh,
share my
okay.
screen now.
Okay. I thought I did
Yeah,
something
that's
wrong.
fine.
I was trying to fix it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I've not started yet because we need to record the session and okay. Alvin, can you hear me? Please confirm that you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
All right, okay. Let's go then.
What the hell all this? I'm on the Zoom meeting. Can you turn it down,
Please
please?
mute your
I'm on the Zoom
mics.
meeting. Can you turn it
Thank
down?
you. Please make sure your
Look,
mics are muted.
if I start coding,
Um,
the machine can do something. They got to turn it down.
what's
So
that?
now they
Let me
can't
check.
hear me. Oh, they got to scream like that while they can hear me. So what everyone would do is like, the girl was like, would you punch her in the face for $1 billion? He's like, hell yeah. She was like, what?
Jason, please mute your mic. And I think that's Adura. Is it? Please mute your mics. All right, thank you. Yeah. Okay, so we'll be working on just a simple design tonight so that we could let's look at the preview. So okay, this is what we'll be working on tonight. Please confirm that you could see my full screen.
Yes, you can see that.
All right, so we'll be working on this. It's pretty simple, but we'll work with this. So what we want to look at is how we can make this page accessible and of course use our CSS variables and touch upon the responsiveness just a little bit. So before now, I've set up my work environment. This design is from Frontend Mentor. So we'll have the design here. You could see that I've already prepped just to save us some time. So we have the design, we have our assets, which are the images and icons we're going to make use of. And all right, here we have the content I'm going to use on the page. Our style guide is here, and this is our style. The CSS is pretty much empty right now. And for the index, we just have this little thing going on here, nothing much. So let's just bypass. Okay. So first things first is we're going to look at the design we have and try to quickly bring up the structure. So what I do is you look at it, there's no one way to interpret a design, but when you look at your the design that you have, you would first off try to make sure that you understand the broad components, like the larger components, and group them together. So for me, I'm going to group this upper section together and then this lower section together. So to do that, let's go to our index file. I'm thinking of a main page for now, yes. So I'll be explaining briefly why we work. Remember, we're talking about accessibility and you can't like optimize your site's accessibility without using your proper HTML5 semantic tags. So we're going to use our main tag. From what I see, we just have one main page here. There are no navigations. There's nothing else happening in this place. So we just have everything wrapped up in the main tag. Then I said I saw two sessions. let's keep referencing the image so you know what I'm talking about. So here is a header, right? So we're going to use header for this side, and then this is just another section on its own. So let's get to it. So we have our header, and I said the second part we're going to use section. So what do we have in our header? I know we have two, let's see, we have two prominent columns in our header from the desktop view. So I would just give each of these sections. So this is section for our main text, and this is this should be for ratings. So in our header we have two sections, right? I'm going to give them a class name because I think we're going to have several sections in the page. So let's just say here is our main text. Okay. Our second section, we're going to work with, say, let's call that ratings. I think that was ratings. That's what we had there. Okay, and let's see what else we have going on. So we have our major text here, which is our H1 tag. We have a paragraph, and we have three distinct sections for the ratings. Okay, so we'll come here to our main text section, have our H tag. It's going to be empty for now. I'm going to fill up with the contents later. And we have our paragraph. I think that does it for that section, right? So for this section, we have three, I'll call them three divisions, right? So in as much as we're trying to use semantic HTMLs, you do not overuse them. Use them for sections that actually have meanings. But for this particular divisions, they're just what's it called, for visual purpose. They don't actually have much meanings to their tags here. So we could use div for that. So let's work with three divs. What do we call those? What do we call them? They need a class. So let's work with rating items. Rating items for that. Say okay. So we have our rating items, and in the rating items, I think we have two other divs. One is for those star icons. I think, yeah. Have one for the star icons, and we have another one for the text right there. So let's just call it rating text. So just be specific with your classes. So this particular text is for the rating. If you're still confused, this is where I am right now. So we'll have these icons here, and then we'll have this text here, right? So we'll have three of it. So we just duplicate those containers instead of typing it all out for our rating section. So let's quickly duplicate this, 2 and 3. Yeah, I think that does it for that structure. So let's go to the second section, right? We need to give this guy a class because we have other sections here for our styling. So what do we call this? Let's see. So I'll just call this our cards section because we have some cards in there. So let's call that card sections, and we have 3 cards, the card section. So again, the cards individually do not have what is it called? The cards individually do not have semantic meanings. They just, so we're going to use divs for them, just for styling purposes. We're going to use divs for this 3 cards that we have there. So, okay. Let's see. Let's call this cards. We have 3 of them. And okay. Let's look at what content we have. So to me, we have 2 distinct components here. We have this first section here, and we have the second one. What name do we call this one? Let's just call here profile information, and here there are reviews, right? Oh, that's true. I think we should make this review section, makes it much more descriptive because we have reviews in this section. So for the cards, we have 2 distinct divs. So one is for let's call that profile info class, since it has the avatar and the name. So we're going to have for the profile info, we'll have an image, right? And we have, what else we have there? Okay, we have this div for the text. Okay. So what do we call that? Say, okay. Say profile deets. Okay, so after that, let's see, what else do we have there? Then we'll have the review text. That's the messages that you have for review. So let's call this review text. Okay. What else? I think we're done with that. So let's duplicate those. We have 3 cards. So let's quickly duplicate the structure before we add the contents. 2 and 3. So for the most of it, I think we have our structure going. So like I said, I have most of our page content out here already. So we'll just quickly copy them out and add them to where we need them on the page. So this is for our header. And after that, we have this our main page text. That's in a paragraph. Let's see that here. Okay. Next up, we have, okay, our star icons. We have icons here. I think we have it in our assets. Let's confirm that. Images. All right, so have icon star as an SVG file. So we could use an image to call that. Yeah, so let's do icon star. We have about 5 of it. Okay, so now this is where we do a little bit of explanation. So your alternative text has to be pretty much descriptive. So this is a star icon. So let's do that. We have, how many is that? Let's look at our image again. Okay. I think we had about 5 of that. So let's duplicate this quickly. 2. Oh, that did not copy. All right. So let's do 3, 4, and 5. All right. So we have our icons. Yeah, right out there. So let's just, it's the same thing for all the rating item containers. So copy these and just put it right here. So we don't have to type again. Same for here. Okay. Yep. So next up for page content, we have the text, the descriptive text for the ratings. So we'll just include that here for rating text. Now, just a side note, when you're working with text, only use paragraphs for things that are actually paragraphs. This is just a descriptive text and it's not paragraph. So try not to do that, those. And okay. So next up, we're going to the review section for our cards. Let's see what content we have there. Okay, so now we need to include the image and then the profile information for each one. Let's see what we have. Okay. These are our cards, profile info. We have the image and the profile details. Right. All right, so let's start with our images. The first person we have for our design should be let's see. Let's look at our design one more time here. Okay, so the person is Colton Smith and verified buyer. All right, so this div has 2 prominent information. We have the name and we have the status. I think we should include that. So for review, for profile details, let's work with what do we call this? The first one is the profile name. So let's just copy name. And the next one was, let's call that status. think we had something about verified or not. Let's look at the design again. Yeah, verified buyer. So this is the name, this is the status, and this is the image. So let's just include the content for that. First is Colton Smith here for first name. Context we have verified buyer. I think it's like the same for all of them here. Colton Smith and say verify. Verify buyer. We have the same for all of them. So let's have this guy work out just fine. Okay, so we'll just get the same information because I think it's similar for profile details and community containers and just putting the structure there. We did not include it the first time. So we'll have to check our content for the names that we have. After Colton Smith, we have Erin Roberts here. So let's stick here, Roberts. And finally, we have Anne. Okay. I think we're almost done with this side. Okay. All right. So next up, the review text. I think that's the last content we need. Copy this side and just add it here. So text. Let's indent a little bit and make it look good. All right. So, okay. Sorry, this should be for this guy here. That means we skipped the user. Let me fix that up quick. All right, so have the review text, and second person was Aaron Roberts. So I don't know, I have Aaron Roberts here. That's weird. Aaron Roberts, that's it. So go to the, all right, next up is the content for Irene Roberts, which is this one. So replace this text with that. Need to fix up here, should do it. And finally, okay, we have this guy. Review text. Okay, let's see what we have on the page. I think we're done. Oh, we need to add the images, the profile avatars, which is here. So let's start Smith. We have the images already added to this file here. So it depends on what you're working on. You know where you store your assets and just look for them. And all right, just to explain, you'd see that now. So we have here in the images, and this image is for Colton Smith, right? You see how descriptive the name of the file is? This is pretty much important to when you're working with your, when you're considering accessibility when you're working. And the alternative text should also include the person's name so that it can be indexed properly. So the person's name is Colton Smith. And that's just an image or picture or something. So that's Colton Smith's image. And okay, let's do that for others. This for Irene here. Someone's mic is on again. Okay, so we'll have Irene Roberts here. So your alternative text have to be pretty much explain what the image is. And finally, we have Anne. Okay. So please mute your mics. If you have a question or something, you can drop it in the channel on the Zoom chat. Okay, so we have unwise. All right, that does it. I think we have our content ready. Let's see what that looks like in the browser. Oh, that's good. So for now, we have all our structure right and all that. So before we start styling, let's see, because let's just see how it looks like for run a little test on this and see what we have. Okay. All right, so if you're wondering how I got here, I think you should have this extension in your dev tools. Go to Lighthouse and then just work on getting a report for that. So that should pretty much give you. Let's check if we got our accessibility ratings right for this page. Minute. Okay. Performance, not so much, but at least we got 100 for accessibility. That's cool. I think that's great. All right, so let's go to styling. I think what we've worked on so far for this page structure is pretty much explanatory on why we need to use semantic tags and actually when not to use them. Use them when the content those tags are going to contain are going to be descriptive, and don't use them otherwise. Also, your alternative text, very important. This design does not include, I don't think it does. Let's look at it again. It doesn't include buttons. It doesn't have buttons or some form elements, but I think your course content cover things like labels. Labels are pretty much important when you're working with forms, so that those that use screen readers to access your website can read it. Then for your buttons, the text on your buttons have to be pretty much descriptive as to what the button does. So you cannot have a click me button. If the button is to sign up, you should read sign up. If the button is to view more text, you should like say that straight up and not click me or those very vague texts for your buttons. All right, so let's do some styling. Not linked ours. I don't think we have. Okay, let's link our style sheet. I think the file name is styles.css. Okay. Okay, so we're going to variables now. I don't think we have much time left. So let's go to variables. Now, if you look at this design, we don't have much theming going on, but we have mostly colors. So for our variables, we're going to use our color scheme. We're going to use CSS variables right now, and I'm thinking we need that a global scope. I mean, it's just one page. You don't really need much. So that's the first thing we're going to work on for our style sheets. Someone's mic on. All right. So first things first, we're going to just like to clearly state sections in my style sheets what they're for. So we're going to do our global styles here, like things that are pretty much very going to use globally. Okay, so one of those is we need to access our fonts. That's true. Let's see. We have a style guide that comes with this. So let's see what we have here. We have our colors. We have the primary colors, the neutrals. So for our typography, which is for font, we're using pattern. Okay, that's wrong. From Google Fonts, 400, 500, and 700. All right, so let's get this. Let's quickly add this to our sheet. So we saw 400, 700, and 500. So we'll add this guy, add this one, and then this one. That's it. So import it into our sheet like so. Okay, so let's start with that here. Oh, that did not. Sorry. Let's get rid of the styles. We're not doing this in line. Okay, that's better. Okay, finally the style rules for this. Find family, blah blah blah. All right. So we'll have this in the body. So let me call my body and my HTML. This still falls under the global styles. So let's quickly do that. So for our font family, we have that. Then let's just get rid of the margins and the padding. Okay. Say box sizing, border box. Okay, I think that's pretty much okay. Font size globally, let's use 16 pixels for that. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. So now let's use our variables. Now the question is, why do we need to use variables for? I think we mostly use it for our colors. That's because let's look at our style guide again. Here we have our primary colors, neutral colors, and type, and our just primary and neutral. So for these two colors, we're going to be using them a lot. The page. It's not so much, but we'll have to reuse these. So we don't want to type these values every single time we need these colors. And by using HSL values here, it's not pretty much obvious what this color is. If you did not have this description here, you wouldn't like guess off the top of your head that this is magenta. So we're going to use variables to rename this and store this value for whatever variable name we give it in our CSS. So we'll start with our primary colors. I know we don't have a lot going on, but it's just good to give this description to what each variable is for, especially when you have lots of them. So I think the first one we saw there was very dark magenta. I think so. So let's get the value for that. Say, yeah, very dark magenta. Okay. Quickly go to our style file and oh, sorry. Let's see. Okay. All right. What color did we see there? So have soft pink next, still in our primary colors. So let's go to soft pink. Okay, and let's see. We'll have this value. So for neutral colors, we have dark grayish magenta. So just work with that next. So we do not black neutral colors. Okay. So the other one was light. You do know you could like name your variables whatever you want, but just make sure it's very descriptive of what value it stores. So light grayish magenta, we have here this value. Okay. Let's see. Next up is oh, that was for dark. All right, so change that to dark grayish magenta and then work with light gray for this one. I think I mixed them up a bit there. So the first one was the dark one, so this should be the light now. Change this to dark. Come here and have a light color. It's the same colors, just different intensities of light grayish, magenta. Okay. And finally, I think we have white. That should be 0, 100%. Okay, so we have white and there you go. All right, so I think we're done for most of it. I just like to always add one more value in my variables that I like to call debug, just in case we need to find out why certain things are not working in our code. So let me just throw that up there. Okay, so I think we have our colors ready and things are good to go. So let's start styling our shit. So remember, we're working with mobile first. We are done with variables. We don't really have much variables going on here, but I think the syntax is pretty clear. it's a rule of a thumb that if you're starting, you're trying to write your variable name, you need to put two dashes like so, and then the name. It could be anything actually, say any variable or something. So, but it has to describe the value it stores pretty well. So it's not just in as much as you could do dash dash a, it's not clear as to what it stores. So it should be pretty descriptive like we have here. Then what else have we covered? I think that's pretty much it. So we're working quickly. Let's go to responsiveness. We're doing mobile first. So let's start looking at what we want our mobile to look. So we have a design. Let's see. Okay, so these are mobile designs, starting with the mobile. Now, it would be important for you to know that when I was working on the HTML structure, I followed the desktop design to structure. It's pretty much easier to structure with your desktop, but style with your mobile design first. Yes, because if you use the structure for mobile, it's going to be very, very tricky to manipulate from your HTML view for desktop later on, because mobile is just mostly stacked little bit of center work from our body side. This is the parent container, so that's why I'm putting it here. I don't think it's necessary for us to have another wrapper for the main. So let's flex this. We want this to center, right? So let's center it. Let's quickly center that align. I think is align item center. And okay, I think that does that for now. Next up, we'll go to our main. The main is the parent container for all the content we have on the page. Let's go back so you could see that. So we have this guy. That's what wraps everything we have for our page. So let's go there and fix our display issues there. Say display grid. Okay. Next up, we want to fix up our grid template column. So we are working on mobile. So obviously it's just going to be like one fraction. We just have one column. So that's what we grid template columns. Thinking of one FR. Next up, we want to set the areas. I'm working with two broad components, which is the top, the header, and then the other section below. So we just have two of those. For mobile view, we're going to work with grid template areas of, what do we name them? Let's see. I'm thinking of, let's still work with what we have. So the first row, it's going to be a header. And okay, that's just this is a section. All right, that works. So let's do that for our main. This sets up our grid for the mobile. What next do you need to do? So let's target the containers that have those grid areas. I think we have header. There was no class for that, right? So header and what was this other one? Review section. Okay. So let's go to header and review section. Okay, for header, that's also a great area there. That was also header. And review section. Let's into that. The other section, let's do, I think the first section, right? All right, section. So we've fixed up our grid. Next, let's now look at the actual design and start seeing what we need to do. So for this first grid item that we have here, you'd notice that everything is pretty much centered for the first one. So what I'm going to do is target the classes for each of these items and just center them. So we don't do it for each one. I think that works. Let me quickly check out what their classes were. So the first, they're all in the header. So we have, okay. All right. I think we just target our parent and just fix that up here. We're going to ask you to flex. Like I said, I like using flex for content. So everything is pretty much centered for the mobile view. So let's center this guy. We have this already, so I don't think we need to repeat this. Let's just let's do that here. Okay, but we do not want this thing to vertically align, do we? Okay, let's just leave it for now. Could do that in the parent later. So let's just throw in the header here. It's the same styles. Let's not repeat ourselves. Okay, so let's see what we even have so far. So our text even centered. What's going on? All right, so we have this guy going on here and here. Oh, okay. So let's just close this. All right, we need to take this out. Okay. So for now, we just want the text to center. Nothing too much going on, but all our flex items for mobile, they're going to be columns and not rows. So we have display flex for body. Okay, I think we should just have left that. So query that for desktop later. So let's change our flex direction to column. By default, our flex direction is in row. So bring back the header, and when we get to desktop, we'll fix that up later. Okay, so let's see. Okay, and for our text, so what Justify Content Center does, it centers horizontally, align item centers vertically, but to target our text, let's do text align center. But let's not put it in the body here. Let's take this to the header, okay? Because our second section wasn't, the text wasn't centered, so let's just do it here. Text align center. Okay, I think that should fix that. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, it's looking good so far. Right, so we have it centered. Next thing we want to look at is specific things like, let's see our mobile view again. So we have the text colors, we have this, we have this, we have this. So I think our H1 and this text here have the same color. So we just group those together and assign their colors for them quickly. Okay, so what was the class for those texts for the rating? Okay, we'll call the rating text. So we'll target rating text and our H1 and give them same color. Okay. If you notice, I'm giving the space, just group similar items together. So working with our H1 and dot rating text. Okay, so have this. Our color, that looks like the dark magenta. Now to call your variables, you just and those braces and yeah, thinking is very dark magenta. Let's see what that looks like. I think that's the color. Okay, yes, that's that. I think that was it. Okay. But next up, we need to target our header separately. Was someone saying something? Let's say what, I don't know. Let's see what 3M looks like. I think the weight for that was about 700. So let's just quickly specify that here. Okay. Let's leave that for now. Come back. So next up is our paragraphs for this. So that's not in the paragraph we have, so we need to target it correctly. So it's the main text P. Let's quickly go to that. So it's our H1. So how do you main text in the paragraph? Okay, so I think the color is pretty light. It's very light. Should be one of those light grayish thingy. Let's try this one. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Oh, no. Sorry. Sorry, targeted is in the wrong place. The main text P, right? So have color. Okay. What did we use? Okay, lights, green, magenta. Let's see. Does that? I don't think that's the color. That's pretty light. Let's see what we have in this design. Let's try the darker one. I think that light one is just too light. Let's try the dark grayish magenta and see. Yes, I think that looks better. Okay, something else I want us to fix is the width set for our body. It's not looking good there. So I'm thinking for mobile, let's do let's see what 85 looks like. It wasn't so much. Let's see what that looks like. Nope, that's off button. Something is off. Let's see. This we have center. Okay, let's see what 90 does. That's meant to be like that. Still have lots of spaces here. Okay. Item 2 doesn't seem to send that pretty much yet. Let's see. So this. Display flex direction, column, center. Text align. Come back to that. Okay, so yes, wanted to fix the font weight for our guy here. I was thinking more along the line of 700. Okay, that looks great. All right, so let's look at our design. What next do we have? For the rating, we need to make these containers look nice. And hold on. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Our weight property should go to our main container. Where do we have the main? Okay, that's the main here. We should have it here instead. Okay, makes sense. Better now. So we need to just do these background colors for these sections and whatnot. I think it's center, just a little bit of spaces, and yeah, we'll be done with that. So what was the class for that? Section ratings. Okay, so it's rating items. So what we're going to do is target rating items and just give them their colors quickly. Right. Okay. So for rating item, I think it has a background color that looks pretty light. Probably that light grayish that should work here. And it's not going to have spaces. So let's just do that quickly. Give it a margin at the bottom. Let's work with percentages. Let's see what 5 does. Then rating items. I think the text. Let's look at our design again. All right, everything seems fine, but we need to work on the text a little bit more. But let's see what we have so far. Okay, we need the radius. Yeah, let's see what 5 pixels looks like. Okay. It's not there yet. A little padding should do something for it. What are we feeling? What are we feeling? Let's do 1M. I think we fixed it for 16 pixels. Let's do 1M. See what 1M does for us. It's not going to be too much. I think it's a little bit much. It's a little bit teeny too much. So can I use 1M for this? Let's see what 10 does. That looks better. Let's look what we have for our design again. Okay, we still need more spaces on the sides. We need to fix the fonts. So our text has written text. So let's target written text quickly. Just a little bit of something to this. It didn't look so nice the last time. And then for written text, I think you need to up the font rate a bit. Let's do 500. And that's it. Okay. All right, so next up, we need just a little bit of spaces between these guys and go to the next section. So what we can do for our written text, we could just give it a margin top. Let's use percentages. It's going to translate better across devices. All right, so let's waste too much time here. Let's go to the next section. All right, so our next section is the review section, right? And we just have these 3 cards. It is background colors, same font. So let's just target the cards and give them the style. Let's be sure the class we give to them cards. Okay, so let's call cards. So styles they share, background color. Someone's mic is on because I think I can hear myself in the person's feedback. That's, yeah, I'm thinking very dark, magenta. The color, the font, let's look at that image again. This is more white, but let's use this as a generic color for them. Okay, the lightest color we have after white in our variables was the very, I think it was the lightish stuff, light grayish. Yeah, this one. Let's see what that looks like. All right, so for our cards, what else we want to do to this guy is a review section, then cards, and then we have these guys. So we want our cards to flex and then put this to the more flex direction column and all that. But we cannot add it to these guys because these ones are centered and the other ones are not centered. So we'll have to call that up separately. So we'll fix the color. So let's say flex again. Direction column. Okay, I think it's going to need a little bit of padding. Let's see what 1M does. What else? Let's look at that design again. All right, so we're going to need these spaces a little bit here. We could have used space around, but I don't need any more further spaces on the sides, just at the bottoms. So we'll just use margins for that. And you can see there are some need border radius here for that. So let's quickly add that. So I mentioned the margin bottom. Let's still work with percentages, 5%, and okay, then the border radius. Used 8 for the other one. Let's still use 8 here and see how that turns out. Okay, so okay, it's looking good. It's coming together. So now next is this section needs to be separated from this section, and this section is flex row and not column, and we need to fix the line height out of the padding a little bit, and we'll be done for the mobile. Minutes, please. Oh wow, time is far gone and we haven't even touched the desktop. So let's quickly rush this up because we have a few minutes left for the live session. Okay, so what did we want to fix? For the cards, we have this particular section here called the profile info. We want it to flex on the row, not column. So we're going to target this guy and tell it to flex row, and then make our images, cute. So let's go there. What was the class again? Profile info. Let's see, computer to that. So for profile info, you want to say flex again. Flex here. By default is row, so you don't need to state that. Want you to flex. Want a little bit of something going on for them, but we'll come back to that. Let's work on our image and see how that. So the profile info image, let's make those round. Okay, img. So from the image we have here, I think it looks like the width and height is equal. So if we apply border radius of 50%, it should make it round. Okay. So that's the border radius 50% here. Okay. Okay, that's round, but that's too big. So we need to adjust the width and height for mobile for our image. So let's quickly fix that width. Let's see what 50 pixels looks like. And the height. So the width and the height have to be equal for it to give us that round avatar look. So let's try that and see what we have. I think that looks good. Let's work on the text and see if it really does work for us. So we need a space between the profile info and the review text. So let's just give it a margin quick. Working with percentages again. So let's see what that looks like. That's small. Stick it up. Okay. I think that's better. All right. Still come to fix this text. And from our design, I think the name is not the light grayish thing we have going on. I think it's white. And then we need this color, the soft pink. I think that was the color. So we need to target those. I think in profile info, we included a name class and a status. Let me just quickly confirm that. All right, so we have the name and the status. Let's add that here. So there's only one name, so there's no point to target it directly. So let's just call the name straight up. It's just the color we need to change. And I think the font width too was different. So for the name, I think that was a white. That was, please we use a white here. And font weight. Oh, sorry. Font weight, we have, say, let's see what 500 looks like. Okay, then we need the status as well. Just quickly change the colors. We are running out of time, so let's do this pretty fast. So change the color of that to, I think that was the worst, probably light pink or something pink. Let me type in pink. Okay, soft pink. Okay, let's see. I think it's looking good. bit. All right, so I think we have this text to clustered up. We need to adjust the line height. We need spaces between these guys, and we need to up the padding for this a little bit. So let's go to cards. We used 1M. Let's see what 2 does. I think I like this better. Let's reference our design, see what we're working with. Yeah, that's better. So we need some spaces between these two. Fix this line height just a little bit, and that should fix it. So where do we have, this is for the image. Let's just give a, we can't use, I'm thinking, Flex has some very good spacing options for you, for space around and space between, but it won't really work much here because it's going to add spaces between. I just need just little bit of space. I think we need a little bit more. We can use M then because 2M might be too much. Let's try. Okay, still need some fixing to do to center that text, but we'll come back to that. All right, there was something else we needed to change, line height for the text. So let's just quickly target a class for that. And that's the review text. Okay, so that we could go to desktop before our time runs out. So review text. Let's see what it looks like right now before we adjust it. Like this. Let's see what range 2 looks like. Yeah, I think that's better. All right, so far, let's see what we've got. We have, we need more spaces between these two guys. That's just too close. We need a little bit of margin at the top, a little bit of margin going on at the bottom. And yeah, I think we are good. Let's see. So to give those spaces, let's just do that for the review section. Give it a little bit margin top. And let's see what this does. Reference the design one more time. I think we shouldn't spend much time with the desktop. Let's up this up a bit. All right, so before we go to the desktop view, there's something we need to look at, right? There's a background image, if you paid attention. So let me add that now for the mobile and position them correctly so that for those of us that have little issues with such, we'll just fix it. So if you pay attention to this, let me zoom in so that we could all look at it together. If you pay attention to this, at the top here, see where I'm outlining with my cursor, you'd see that there's something, so it's an image. Same at the bottom. I don't think the one at the bottom is pretty obvious. So we have two background images, one at the top, this is top left, and the other one is at the bottom right. So let's just work on fixing that. So our parent element for our main is body. So let's go to body. I think we should do that, body. I'm going to target body alone. Okay. All right. So that's for our background image. So what we're going to do is call out background and use the URL to reference it. I think let's look for it. Should be in our images. So we have different images for mobile and desktop. So we'll just use the one for mobile. These are images. So this is mobile. Let's pick the top first. Okay, so this does it, right? We have two images and we can call them up straight up here. And we don't want it to repeat. We just need one of it. So repeat. Then the second image should be, okay, we've called top, so we need bottom. So this should be the last thing we do for mobile. So we go to desktop. So yeah, this is bottom. Again, no repeat. So what helps you? Okay, let's see. I don't know. The colors are not so bright, so I'm not sure I can see very well. Let's look at it. I don't know if you pay close attention, you would see something going on in our background. So we need to fix them so that this goes up and the second one comes to the bottom, right? Oh, and we need some spaces here. This is too close. So let's go to our main. Let's fix that bottom issue. What are we feeling? Okay, let's see. Okay, better, because we need to view that wants to place it at the bottom. So what you could use to fix this is background positioning, right? So I could still do it since I called background alone, but that's becoming too long. Let's just call background position separately. So what we want to do is, since we have two images that are trying to position, whatever rule we set for the first one is going to apply to the first image, and whatever rule we set for the second one is going to apply to the second image, right? So what we can do is, we're looking at top left. I think from what, let's look at our image again quickly. Let's see what we are working with for the top. I think we need, damn, I'm not seeing this. Okay, I think this is the first image. It's pretty much at the top. We just need to push it a little bit, little tiny bit to the side, because it's supposed to be at the top left. Yeah. So for the position, I'm thinking let's do negative, push it to the side here. Let's see what 3 does. Let's see what 3 looks like for the first one. Save this. Let's see. Oh, this is so faint. But from what I can see, I think the outline is here, just here. We need to just calm down a bit. And I think we need a margin for that header. A little bit something here. Hold on. Let's give this something to work with. Okay, so I think this was too much. Let's reduce it. See what that does. Okay, so this is the outline now. I think it got to this point. It's looking good. It could come lower, but I think that's fine. So this order, the second one starts here. If you can see my pointer moving. So let's fix that up. So to fix the positioning for the second one, just a comma and a space to target the second one. So let's see. For the x-axis, we don't need much changes. So let's try the same one we used. Let's try one, but we need lots of changes on the y-axis. We need to push it to the bottom. Let's see what 30 is going to do for us. We really need to push it down. I can't see it. Let's look for it. Okay, look at it here. I think I can see the outline. We still need to go all the way down. So if 30 brought it halfway, let's try. Let's double this up. Let's see 60. Let's see. Down. I can't really see it. Okay, I think I've seen the outline. It's not all the way down. Let's add a little bit to it. That's some very faint background. I'm not really sure I see it at the bottom yet, but adjusting those values should push that to the bottom for us. So we're done. Let's see if we can use the remaining 10 minutes to quickly do something about the desktop view, because for now we switch from mobile to desktop. This is what we have for desktop, and this is not looking good. And yeah, so let's see if we can quickly query for desktop and then take questions for that. Okay. So far, I think our mobile is okay. So again, desktop. Okay, so we're going to use a media query to target our desktop view. So we're seeing a media screen. And so we're going to use minimum width now. So we're telling it that it should do this till it gets to this minimum width and the style should not apply. So from this width and above that I'm going to set for it should work. All right, so what are we feeling? Let's come back here. Let's try. So you could come to responsive since we are not working with mobiles alone and see where we want our desktop to really start from. I think it's looking nice like this. Sorry, hold on a bit. Let me adjust this guy. It's not okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. So let's do 1,000. Let's do 1,000. Let's see. So that counts for both view. So let's do 1,000 pixels. If it doesn't work, we'll just add it down. So let's do from that. So first things first, it should be pretty much fast and quick to quickly do this for desktop. Remember everything here. Let's come back to mobile, see what it looks like. Okay, sorry, here. Let's come back to this guy. So you see everything is stacked upon each other and it's in columns. So now we need to translate this. But the first things we need to fix is our grid. Okay, because remember we used just one fraction for it, so that we're working with one columns. Now we need I think we need two. Let's look at desktop again. All right, so we need two columns of this, right? Okay, so our grid was fixed up in our main. So let's go to main and change the template columns to 1FRH, about 2 columns, and the areas. So we need to also fix the areas now for desktop. I think for mobile, you just stack on top of each other. This time around, we're going to need 2 of each. I think the first one we named it header. So let's do header. No, let's really confirm. This was what I named the first one. Okay, that's it. So it's header. So we'll have header, and the second one was what? The section. I think that was section. Size section. Okay. So we have our grid fixed quite right. The next thing we need to fix for desktop is the view width we set. I think that's too much for desktop view. We need it pretty much centered. So let's set it at the maximum width of let's see what 80 looks like. Then another major thing we need to change is the flex, where we flex. We'll fix the grid. So we need to target areas that we flexed. I think we did that for header, if I remember correctly. And let's go back. I'm sure. Okay. So we have header. What else? What else did we flex? Hold on. Okay, body, header. Then we could leave body. Body is fine just the way it is. So we need header to now row, because if you see from the design, it's no longer column, they're not stacked on top of each other. So we need that to change to row. Another place we used flex was here. I think here remains the same, but we'll see where would need details later. So let's work with header for now and just change the flex direction to row. Okay, let's see what we have for desktop. So we need to change this. Okay, we also need to change our review section to row as well. I think that was the class name. Yeah, review section. So let's add that here. Okay. We did not specify display for this, did we? Not sure. So let's just quickly add that here. So checking out the way up. Okay. Oh, I don't think this view is okay for. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, so I think it's looking good. We still have a lot to work on. We need some spaces between these guys, and we need something else happening here. We need to specify the flex and a little bit of space, and we're done. Okay, so for our header, what are the two main classes we have in the header? Let's see, the direct children. We have main text and we have ratings. So what I want to do is I want them to have equal sizing. So what you do for flex, similar to what you have for your grid with 1FR, is you just target the main text and ratings, I think. The ratings. And yeah, so we're going to flex 1. We're just saying we want you guys to flex equally. There's something little teeny bit off about our centering. Let's see, what do we have here? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Da, 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 da. Okay, all right. So let me see. What do we have for our body? For desktop, let's fix the height for our body. It's just one minimum page. Let's so body was our parent for the main. So let's give it maximum height of say 100. And okay. Let's see. Let's close this first and see what we have. Oh, so our page is not properly centered here. That should not be the case. I think we've done the centering for body way up here. So let's check what could possibly be breaking this. Blah, 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 blah. Column. So we flexed this, justify content center, align center. So what could be breaking it for this guy? Let's see. Okay. Let's see. All right, so this is where my tool should come in handy. Let me quickly outline this guy and see what we have happening with it. Okay. Well, okay, so it's actually, we could see that our container, our main container is centered, but our content isn't. Content is not centered. So for this screen, we have this going on. Okay, so what we could do is let me see. But it's supposed to center. Shouldn't repeat this down here. Let's see if that pushes it up horizontally. Did not. The review section should go. Let's take this out. Click above where this is coming from. So we still have that for there. This, and that. Yeah. Let's check if our areas are called correctly. Oh, okay. Okay, that's correct. So that was section. That's correct. Let's see. And this review text. Let's get rid of this guy for now. I don't think this is the problem. Save flex. Let's just get this out for now. All right. Okay. Well, that's weird. Okay, let's see. This for the main is centered. So why is it not centered? All right, okay. So for header, right, let's call back header and say, let's see what that does for us. Header. Okay, we have this called up here. So let's move it up. We need to repeat that. Okay, so did it share here. So we have the I want you to flex, and this guy should flex one. You're not taking up the entire container. Review section should do this. And let's see. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm. Okay. So we're not having this center out. So what could be breaking it? Will be breaking it. All right. So let's space out this guy and see if we could debug why our code is breaking at this point. Mm-hmm. So we have the body and we have this one. Okay. Let me just quickly see if this works. This should align my text. Let's see whatever is happening in main is applying to our page. Okay, all right. Hold on. So we have the beat set and what could possibly be breaking it. Let me take out this, guys, just to be sure. Mm-hmm. So string da, da, da. Mm-hmm. Let's see what we have from our main. Something could be breaking it for desktop here. So we said body should do this. And we have our header. And we have this guy. Mm-hmm. Okay, we have this and this and this. Let's see. Let's see what could be breaking this. File review section. Yep. Let's say the class for that again. Review section. Okay, so yes. Oh, damn, what could be breaking this? What could be breaking this guy? Mm-hmm. Do we have something wrong with our areas? Things not so. Mm-hmm. We lost something. Something is throwing this off big time. Okay. Let's see. So what style could possibly be breaking for desktop? Right, let's quickly review our grid. I'm thinking our grid has a little bit of problem. Okay. So we have here, and here. Okay, so I think it's fine. think it's doing just fine there. It's not taking up straight up containers. So let's just proceed. Say previous section. Because our time is almost up, so let's just run this guy. Say, okay, hold on. I think I need to start up my live server. Nothing is actually applying anymore. Yes. Okay. All right, I think it seems pretty fine. Alvin, are you still connected?
Yes, I am.
Alvin. Okay. So maybe you just take up the questions while I debug this and then come back with it.
All right,
So
no
I
problem.
don't take much of our time. All right.
Okay, so please, if you have any question, you can unmute yourself and ask, or you can make use of the chat section if you feel that would be convenient for you. So I want to take questions. So any question, maybe from what you've watched so far, or from the tasks you've been doing on Rescue America.
Hi, Alvin. One questions I have, I've seen that she has another screen, like a performance kind of screen. So I don't know how did she open it. I missed that part. It's not the dev tool, but it's something else.
Okay, you
Is
mean
that kind of,
okay, you mean the responsive page.
yeah, when she was on mobile, and then there was a when she was looking at it, there was on the right side, I have a performance, like a percentage, everything. I'm not sure what it was.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's what we call the lighthouse tool. We make use of it to check for performance, your both including your SEO, your accessibility, and all. So it's more like an extension being installed on your browser. It helps you to
Yeah.
check all that.
Wait, hope I'm muted. Sorry.
So I don't know if I've answered your question, Jeremy.
I'm not sure how do you have access to that? Is it like an extension from VS Code, or I'm kind of confused. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's not an extension from VS Code, but rather your browser.
Oh, it's on the browser.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I've never seen that. I mean, is there any way she can show me how to access that from the browser?
All right, that's fine.
I'm
If
sorry if that's kind of confusing.
Hello, Alvin.
okay, hello, Sophia.
All right, so I think I didn't remember to show them that. So let me just quickly share my screen and show them how to do that.
All right, that's fine.
Can you see my screen now? Okay, so let me close the DevTools. So if you open your DevTools here, right? And normally you should see something like this. This is by default. So if you come here, you can see this icon here. You click on it, you'd see other options you have for your DevTools. So you can click on Lighthouse and click on Generate Report. It would run and show you the reports for the page. Hope that's clear. She's still on the call.
Yeah, I guess she is.
Okay, so yeah, that's it.
I don't know if anyone has any other question to ask. So like I said, you can make use of the chat section to ask your question and we'll take it off from there.
All right. I don't think we have any more questions actually, so we'll be ending the session very soon. If there are no more questions, we'll have the recording available. Would also work on fixing the rest of the code. I think there's a message.
That's fine.
Okay. All right, so we need to end the session now. If you have further questions, you could drop it later in the channel, and that'll be it. Alvin, anything else?
Okay, so for those that attended, we'll have a recorded version of this very soon, just maybe right after the call or some minutes after the call. So thank you very much for attending the live session and we hope to see you next time.